Welcome to the Jackie Scully Show. This is not your ordinary podcast. This is a space for heart-centered conversations, bold ideas, and transformative visions. I sit down with thought leaders and visionaries who are making waves in the world of heart, education, and consciousness. Together, we explore how we want to live, co-create, and thrive in 2025 and beyond. Every Friday, join me for inspirational and thought-provoking stories of everyday people creating extraordinary impact. These individuals are sparking waves of positive change, embodying the kind of impact we all aspire to create. This season, 3 powerful themes emerge: the heart of wholeness, exploring inner love, emotional balance, and our deep connection with awe; the future of education, rethinking learning through personalized pathways, collaborative growth, and community-driven transformation; and a new era of consciousness, expanding possibilities and how we live and thrive together. Come sit with me. Let's dream, build, and embody the world we wish to see. This is the Jackie Scully Show. Enjoy. Hi, welcome to the Jackie Scully Show. And today I have my dear friend and soul sis, Michelle Cordy. Yay! I'm so excited. Every time we get to jump on a call, we usually send voice notes to each other, but whenever we get to jump on a call and see each other, it's such a joy because we aren't physically near each other. We've been able to visit a couple of times, but always miss you so much and love having a call with you. So thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me. It's always wonderful to see my soul sister.
Yay! So we both have gone through quite a transformation in the year, basically from 2023 to now. And so to lead into our conversation just about like stepping through fears, taking a leap of faith, kind of following your heart and your truth, can you just tell our listeners a little bit of background about getting to this point, just so we know a little bit of your backstory? If you want to know more about Michelle's spiritual awakening and more tapping into that full story, she was also on the Intuitive Teacher podcast that I co-hosted with Jess Maidenford. So check that out as well. I might even plug that link in the show notes because that's a very expansive episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever you want to share.
Yeah, so try to make this short because our stories are always lengthy, but I think mine started in 2017, my spiritual awakening, when my dad had a stroke, and he had, sorry to back up, 2004 he had his first stroke, and then 2012 he had a second one. 2017 was really expansive for me because not only was I dealing with my dad living in a nursing home and giving up on his life, but also with me, I lost my job in April of 2017 as well, just because there was some corporate structure restructuring. And, I was kind of prepared that I was going to be let go, but you're never prepared when it fully happens to you. And I was also going through depression at the time. So all of these life moments were all coming upon me at the same time. And I know the wording, dark night of the soul. And when you're going through your spiritual awakening, these tower moments in our life, they are transformative. But when you're stuck in that, you don't know what you're going through, you think you're crazy. And I was thinking, what I know there's more to life than what I'm seeing right now, but like, what am I supposed to be doing? And that's what the thing was, is just like, I was so stuck and stagnant in my energy that I couldn't move myself forward. There were days when I didn't want to get out of bed, but something in 2020, as I moved forward through my spiritual awakening, we had a lot of downtime due to the pandemic. And that really helped me go inward. And that's been super healing for me, is when we do our inner work. And, you and I both know it's not easy, but it's also rewarding. But we have to put ourselves first. We were taught by society that it's selfish to put ourselves first. No, it's necessary in order to be the best version of ourselves. And that leads to authenticity, and also to have that love for ourselves. And that's, for me, is just like, I was always, I say now, former people pleaser, because I was always putting everyone above me. And, I learned to set boundaries for myself. And there's been so many learnings and teachings over the years. One of the best things is finding the people that are on the same vibrational frequencies as myself. And when you and I connected in May of 2023, it was an instant connection. And, we have been through so much together, and I seriously do not know where I would be without you. So you're a blessing in my life, and thank you for having me today.
Oh my gosh. I could say Absolutely. The same about you. And you're an inspiration to me because just listening to all that you went through in, many different phases of your life over a long period of time. And I'm kind of walking that scary path now of like this unknown. I mean, we all are, but I can resonate with that feeling of I had the dark night of the soul in, 2021, but like really that feeling of what am I supposed to be doing? Like I know there's more. I know there was more than that was right in my life and right in front of me, but what is that? And like questioning the unknown is really scary, but you are an expander to me. You're a mirror to me, just like we're all mirrors to each other, those who come into our life at the timing that we need that. And those who leave our life when they need to leave it because they're no longer our mirrors or no longer our expanders, because you always are talking about self-love. And that's a huge part of your coaching. It's a huge part of the videos you put out on social media that are super empowering. And when I have my moments of feeling lack and feeling, self-confident and just down on myself or like questioning, you always come back and you say, you have to love yourself first and you have to be in flow and believe in yourself, and whether that's connected to something higher or just connected to your higher self. Um, you always go back to that. And I think you do still give out a lot of energy and a lot of love, but I think you have now stepped fully into what does Michelle need? What does my soul need? And this past year and a half since we've known each other, it's not a long time. I can't believe it, a year and a half. But since like October of 2023, like the transformation is huge. Like I've never seen someone totally change their life around in such a quick time. And you've walked through every emotion fully, and you've gone through the depths of feeling it all, where a lot of people would be scared and would run away from that or do other things that would just, either numb or self-sabotage, but you're just like, I'm going to go through it. And where I just want to know, like, where does that come from? Like, what are you pulling at that you're able to continue? And if you want to give a little bit more of your story, however you're comfortable with that transformation I'm talking about since last year, I'm just, it's incredible. I'm in awe of how much you have changed and the emotions you feel. Like it's just so deep. So I think it's a great example for myself and our listeners.
Yeah. So speaking of emotions, I'm starting to get emotional as you're saying all these beautiful things. So thank you. I appreciate that. As you know, my dear, I wear my heart on my sleeve, but I have no qualms. I'm not, I'm who I am. And you were talking a little bit about fears, and the other day I did a video about fears because that's one of the weeks that I talk about in my coaching program. And the other day I was reflecting on that, and I was thinking, what was or are my greatest fears? And it was, basically taking off the mask of, who we were in our past, and just trying to be our authentic selves. Is, people say peeling the onion. I call it a rediscovery of ourselves, or remembering ourselves before society or parents or anyone who affected us since childhood put these limiting beliefs in our heads. And that's what I, in the fall of 2020, I finally said, enough is enough. I'm not going to allow these self-limiting beliefs to allow me to not live my best life right now. I did that for so many years because of someone who just was in my head, and I couldn't stop what this person had said to me over many, I mean, just eons of years. And I just like, I need to do this for me. One of the things that I have struggled with is using my voice, speaking my truth. And I've learned so much since 2020. And I just want, everybody has a story to share. And one of the things that I was scared to say and do is to tell my, now ex-husband that I want a divorce. I did that in November of last year, 2023. And I'm just like, I look back and on my growth, and at the time I didn't even know where I was going to live. All I know is this, like, I just needed to close that chapter. I have no ill will for him. It was some people, you're brought into your lives and you're no longer a vibrational frequency match, and it's okay. And society is just like, stick it out and da da da, and it's just like, no, it's just like you have to do you have to live your best life for you. You have to choose you first because you cannot be your best version for somebody else unless you put yourself first. And that's what I finally did. And that was a scary conversation, being vulnerable. And I had been with my, ex for 29 years. It was scary, but I was so proud of myself. And I look back on my growth and, I just truly believed in, I say universe. Now that's, God, spirit guides, soul guides, people have passed along, that's who I believe in. And I just knew that I had, I feel like, we have to take the action steps in order for the universe to say, okay, Michelle, you did this. Now let's see what else you can do. So it's always, a pathway and I knew that I had to do that and speak my truth and say, what are the next steps for me? And we started the divorce process. And then, it was the winter months. And I'm thinking, how am I going to find a place to live in the winter months? And he kept asking me, where are you going to live? What are you going to do? And I'm just like, I don't know. But thankfully, I am so thankful that we were so amicable and supportive. And it was not, I don't want to say seamless. It was very hard, but it's just like, it was a lot easier and I think it was because we finally had that truthful conversation. And that's what any communication with anyone in either friendships, relationships, partnerships. I mean, you and I have had, heart to heart conversations where we just had to be like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. And it's, the tough love. And the tough love has kind of been hard for me in the past. And that's what I'm also trying to embrace. Like, there are people in your life that are looking out for your best interest. And we not might agree on everything, but it's just like it's nice to hear other people's viewpoints and be open to that perspective. So, being the biggest fears was speaking my truth, being my authentic self, and trying to live my best life. And the one of the best things is like balance is key. And I am a big believer in going with the flow and living in the present moment. We can't live in the past. The past is behind us for a reason. And we do not know even what tomorrow is going to bring with the future because, this world is just so crazy. And I feel it's going to get crazier, but we can't worry about that. The present moment is where we need to live. And that's what, and also, any grounding techniques. I'm also a big believer in that. It's just like get out there with Mother Earth. There is so much connection with Mother Earth. And, when I finally found my place that I have in February, it all aligned, and I trust in the universe. And I have a beautiful place and I have water near me. And I was in solitude for the first couple months. I'm not a big TV watcher at all. I just started recently using my TV actually. But when you're trying to rediscover who you are, you really got to really believe in yourself. And that's what I did not do at the beginning. But you have to know that you are worth everything that you want to believe that you are able to receive. The love you have for yourself in order to have the vibrational frequency matches for other people. It's just like I really, I'm just, one of the things I like to do is like I look myself in the mirror and I say, I love you. I'm proud of you. And I say that all the time, not necessarily in the mirror, but also just, throughout the day. And that's something that I didn't really hear a lot when I was growing up. So we have to parent ourselves, our inner child. And that's where
Yes.
a lot of this, self-limiting belief started with our childhood wounding and trauma. And it carries over. And also, and I'm sorry, I'm just going a little on and on, but the ancestral generation, I think we're generational cycle breakers. We're saying enough is enough. We're not dealing with this stuff anymore. We're gonna, speak our truth, no matter who if it triggers somebody, they're not ready to hear the truth but we are, and we found each other. And that's all it's all. It's finding the
Yeah.
people who get you.
That's awesome. That's so powerful. And all of this has come about in just, well, the big transformation in really a year, but just years. Like this isn't, you've been doing this for decades or anything. Like people can change their life around in an instant, in months, in a year, in years. Like you can do that. And I've seen a lot more people doing that since the pandemic. I think it cracked a lot of people open. I think there's still a lot of people very stuck in why is the world so crazy? And they're not ready to leave that like old world order, because we are moving into something new very soon. I'm very excited for the age of Aquarius. Yes, let's go. But yeah, you're so right about you need to take off the mask. You need to embrace yourself. And part of that is loving yourself completely. And I was just going to say that as you said it, so we're like, psychically linked here, that you have to parent yourself. Even if you had wonderful parents or what you thought was a really loving and healthy upbringing, there are still things in our environment from an old time that are conditioned within ourselves. So you could have really wonderful parents that loved you, but maybe they were fear-based.
Mhm.
Maybe they had a certain perspective, and you as a child are watching all of that, and that goes into your subconscious and you're not aware of it. So it takes a lot of inner work and kind of digging back into what you were conditioned by, and then to try to work on unconditioning that, which can be very hard in the beginning, but as you do it, it's like a muscle, and you can unlearn and you can then heal. But there is something about parenting yourself. Like we're connected to a higher self. So even if you think of your higher self as a parent,
Mhm.
and that we all have that inner child in us, and that higher self can come in and say, I love you, Michelle. I love you, Jackie. Like there is love there. And, whether you want to just have faith and you believe in God or Jesus or Buddha or whatever your divinity is, then that could be your teacher. That could be your parent to say, I love you. It's there. And really, I have found that when I do sit in stillness in nature or when I meditate, but whenever you're making space for yourself to be grounded, like you talked about. And I think nature really helps with that, because you see animals and life all around you and you have quiet and peace. And then that's where you can kind of hear those words, whether you actually hear it or it's just in your mind, of like, there's so much love in you. There's so much love in the world. There's so much abundance that's not just necessarily what we think about abundance. And that's something that I'm working through right now, is that abundance isn't just material. That's great because we need that too. And it makes the world run as it does. I think moving into this new era, the new abundance, like as we think of money, is going to be love,
Yeah.
right? And people being able to do for each other in exchange. And
Mhm.
so maybe still part of that is also you pay for services and things like that. But I'm seeing even a lot more like someone helped me out, then I'm going to help them out. And that's a love exchange. And that's still energy. And that's still like a currency, if you will. It's still a way that we're giving and receiving, which is what money does, is you give and you receive. It's an energy. And I think we're gonna still have money in some way, but I think that's gonna be a bigger priority, is giving service and love. But we can't fully step into that if we don't love ourselves. Because I've been at moments in my life, as you talked about too, like where I didn't give myself that self-love. I've gone through it recently, but back in 2021, even when I was moving from Hawaii back to Pennsylvania, couldn't find a job in 2011. A lot of those feelings are kind of coming up again for me now as I'm in a job search, but I was not giving myself self-love. I was just down on myself. And then I couldn't give to anyone else because I had resentment, I had anger, I was jealous, I was comparing myself to other people. We all do this. This is human nature. So it's nothing you don't ever want to knock yourself or have shame, but just forgive yourself, because it's part of being a human. And we all have those self-limiting beliefs, again, from our childhood, from society. Even if you had what you thought was pretty loving and a good life, things could have happened at school. That happened to me too. Things could have happened with neighborhood kids or bullies or things that you just saw on TV that all go into your brain, into your subconscious, and they make you have these beliefs. And I think we are the generation to break these kind of curses, these traumas. And I think we are the teachers for the new generations, because I think they are becoming more awakened, but I think they're going to need people in our generation, people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, who are becoming awakened, but who've lived the life of what it was like to really be self-limiting for a very long time, we have that wisdom that we can pass on. And I think that's really what you are approaching in your coaching business too. So if there's anything else that you want to share, just maybe about your spiritual perspective of life, where we're going, about what your service is in your coaching, anything else that you want to get into?
A lot of things. Well, the things that I like to focus on, our stories, the way you speak to yourself, you really have to be cognizant of that, because what you say to yourself, our brains don't know if it's true or not. Forgiving yourself, you already talked about that. You first have to forgive yourself, and then forgive whomever else who have harmed you. And, forgiving doesn't mean forgetting, but you have to forgive in order to move forward with your life. Fear, what scares you the most, stepping out of our comfort zones, that's growth. Failures are growth, mistakes are growth. I feel that there's no mistakes in life, because it's learning opportunities that get us to move us forward. And that's what we have to do. You can't stay stuck and stagnant and expect the universe to give you what you want. No, you have to make an effort and take the actionable steps to get there. Embracing all of who you are, not just different aspects of you. That's something I'm still working on. I'm working on self-image. That's something that I have to accept my entire package. We're not just different aspects of us. It's all the package deal. Change, it's scary, but change is growth, and it's leveling us up. You and I've been through so much change, especially with the last year and a half. July, we had both of us had a really expansive July. So we're always evolving. And that is what, life is all about, evolving into who we are authentically are. Trusting ourselves, that has been huge for me. It's just like our higher self and, our soul guides and etc. are guiding us, and we have free will of whatever, we are being given, but we're also always getting signs from the universe. And you and I are big believers in angel numbers, and just, whatever signs that we see in the sky, or, we have to pay attention, because there are signs out there, even from people. People are messengers, there's songs, or there's so much that we can learn from that. And it's trusting our inner guidance and our intuitiveness. That's where, our soul is guiding us to different pathways in our life. And confidence, when we don't have confidence, and that's what I was working on, it takes a lot to speak your truth. People might not believe, what you are trying to speak your truth on. And again, it comes to believing in yourself. And that's the biggest part of this, is believing and loving yourself, and knowing that you're worth everything that you're putting the time and energy into. So that's some of the things that I talk about in my coaching program. But it's just everything that I've been through to get me to where I am today. And I'm a big believer in sharing your story. Everybody has a story to share, and it creates that ripple effect. If you can have an effect on one person, that affects, the ripple around the universe. And you and I spoke about this too. We don't live close to each other, but I think we're placed in the world as grid workers, light workers, and so forth, to have that unconscious become conscious, and just believing that, we are worth the work that we're doing, and the universe is going to come back for us tenfold.
Yeah, thank you for all of that, all of those lessons that you are teaching on your videos that you have part of your coaching program. And really, the best type of coach, and we've talked about this, is the most authentic person who's walked through that experience. Because if you're going to coach someone to help them through their life transformation, they want to see that you've done it, right? You've done the work, and that you're still doing the work. The idea is you're not ever like a master. Like, I really don't even like that. I
No.
know it's used sometimes, guru, or like all these things out there, but even as a coach, you're still coaching yourself. Like, you're still walking the walk alongside others. And I think that's where both of our media content, video messages are really resonating with people, because we're walking the walk in those videos. We're talking about our lived experience in those different messages. And our messages are slightly different, a little bit the same, but the idea is like, you want to work more one-on-one, helping people, especially in their particular life transformation. I'm more wanting to help the collective and look more like at schools, organizations, but it's the same thing. It's the same service. And it's about having people or organizations wake up and say, you can do so much better. And it all stems from love. Because even what I am talking about with transforming schools and organizations is love. You have to have love at the center
Mhm.
of anything if there's transformation. It has to go back to that energy. And I'm just really excited for both of us. And I'm excited for you. And I'm the new year. And that's, right here. Um, it's going to be exciting. We've done the work. We are continuing to do the work. There are times where you might fall back a little bit, but then you lean on your people and they pick you back up and they help you. And you just say, thank you, because I can't do this on my own. I couldn't imagine going through a transformation in my career and in my life, like with resigning from my school and trying to find my way without you and without this support, because there were so many times I had to use my voice and speak my truth in a way that I thought would be, it would resonate and still have grace and love and leave in like a good way, just like you left your marriage and it was amicable and all of that. I felt that way with my last position. But I did that because of our sharing and our support and support, from so many. Because when you're truly doing something where you're stepping through a huge fear and taking a leap of faith, it's really hard to do it alone. It really is. And so we're here to say, like, we didn't do this alone, and we're still not doing this alone. And we lean on each other, and you lean on your faith or whatever your belief is and your community. And there's a lot of people out there that are going to cheer for you. There's a lot.
Yeah. Jackie, I want to just tell you before we end here is just like, I want you to be so proud of you. Taking a leap of faith is not easy. That's what I had to do when I had to leave the corporate world and take a leap of faith and do coaching on my own, and being a solopreneur is not easy at all. But when we know deep down in our gut, and we might get emotional, when we have a passion, we have a passion for what we do, and we believe in ourselves, and it's that unconditional love that we have, and then that fuel and that fire within us, and we just got to keep going and know that we have people that have our backs and believe in us. Like, you said I was an inspiration. You're an inspiration to me too, because you just keep powering through, of the unknown of what's transpiring within you, and taking the leap of faith of leaving your roles. And it was a fulfilling role, but that there's so much more. And you are such a great leader, and you're going to do awesome things. And I wouldn't say never give up on you, because you were such a blessing, not only to in me and my life, but blessing into this world, because you are gonna you've been on fire, and you were just, I feel like, beginning. And I cannot wait to see
Mm.
what's going to transpire for you. So never
Oh,
give
thank
up.
you.
I am always here for you. You know that.
Yes.
I love you deeply as a deepest soul sister.
Mm.
Just keep believing in you.
Thank you so much. Oh, you're gonna make me cry. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I couldn't do this without you. I love having this conversation today. This is truly this heart to heart. I feel like the love energy through this Zoom call today with you. And it makes me just want to run to Indiana right now and give you a big hug. And I know you said we're here in our places for a reason. And I do believe that, because I believe there's light to be, shine in different areas. You're in Indiana. I'm in New Jersey. We're not in the most glamorous places, but there is light that needs to be here as well. And doesn't mean that that's where we are forever. But I know there will be a more expansive way to see each other in person more often, whether that's just having a more abundance of money, or I don't know, new technology. Let's just like teleport to each other's places. I would like that to happen.
You and I, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Michelle, for coming on the show. My dear soul sis, I am so impressed by you. I think so many people can be inspired by you and learn from you. If you want to reach out to Michelle, just to even connect, have a chat. She's the most warm and loving person. But also, if you're looking for a coach that will hold your hand and help you through a big life transformation, or even if you're just going through something where you just need a little bit more self-love and confidence, all her information will be in the show notes. Do not hesitate to reach out to her. It will be the best thing you ever did. I am still like so blessed that we connected a year and a half ago. I can't believe just a year and a half. I feel like I've known you like since I was a little girl.
You so much for having me on. And, I people who are listening on this for me, you need to connect with Jack because she's going to be the leader of one of many things in our world, I feel.
You too. You too. Thank you. Love you so much.